Howdy, it's Jim Arado, and this is early July 2023. We are in Baldwyn, Mississippi, a wonderful little town. I'm going to put up more on the town in general later, but we're at the final stands, the Last Battlegrounds Visitor Center, which offers interpretation and information mostly on the Battle of Brice's Crossroads, which happened not too far from here. Also covers the Battle of Tupelo. National Park Service has a small acre or so of land preserved with some signs about that battle. You can drive around Tupelo too and see where the battle took place. Of course, Tupelo is a very urban area, and it's been developed. A lot of what you might have seen, it's been built over, and there's shops and things like that. But at least they've preserved that 1 acre. And as you look around here, you can see quotes from famous people involved in the Battle of Brice's Crossroads. Keep looking, you'll see one from Bill Cody. Bill Cody coming up, and that'll be interesting. But this is a great museum at the Brice's Crossroads Visitor Center, and we really enjoyed it. And I wanted to show you what they have, so feel free to watch this video. Feel free to turn the audio down, I won't be offended. But I wanted to show you what all cool that they have here at this museum. But concerning the Battle of Brice's Crossroads, in a nutshell, it happened later in the war, and of course the star of this battle is Nathan Bedford Forrest, who, he was Nathan Bedford Forrest, and you'll see a lot about him in the museum. I believe he had a force of about 3,000 men, and did a number on a Union force of about 8,000, and he had them believing that his numbers were significantly larger. By the way, speaking of Forrest, there is a brick from his original burial site. You may know that he was recently reinterred, and that brick was from his original burial site, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, but Forrest did what Forrest does. He made the Union believe that he had many more men than he did. He utilized the terrain, he utilized the weather, and he pretty much he absolutely beat the Union forces at this battle. And he would do stuff like he would have his men charge from a tree line and from kind of a forested area towards the Union forces, kind of making the Union guys believe there were many more men back there than there were. He did a lot of stuff like that. Very hot day during this battle, and a lot of the Union guys had been marching, and they were having a lot of trouble with the heat. I'm sure all the guys were, but I think that especially worked against the Union. And you had some kind of muddy conditions that didn't help either. I guess swampy conditions might be more appropriate. And yeah, Forrest just really did a number. And Sturgis, the prime opponent with the U.S., was kind of sloppy and kind of came off as unprofessional. There were rumors of drinking. I could go on and on. This is a really interesting battle, but I wanted to just give you a little information about that. I did pick up Stuart L. Bennett's The Battle of Brice's Crossroads. A nice little book that covers this battle. I found a signed copy here at this visitor center. They had, by the way, this visitor center has an incredible gift shop. I spent way more money than I needed to. They have relics for sale here. They have books. They had a nice selection of signed books, and they even had some back issues of Blue and Gray magazine, which I personally appreciated. I love finding old Blue and Gray magazines when I can. And there is the very famous quote about Forrest originated at this battle. One of his men under him had this to say about General Forrest. Mounted on his big sorrel horse, saber in hand, sleeves rolled up, his coat lying on the pommel of his saddle, looking the very god of war. And he definitely impressed on this particular day. And yeah, here's the museum. We're going to look around a little bit. We're going to chat briefly with the museum curator, Cheryl Henning, in a little bit. And also, they had a little thing where you could kind of press some buttons and hear some of the bugle calls. So I'll let you listen to some of that stuff. I thought that was pretty neat.
The recall. In battle, it was used to recall troops already deployed back to the main or reserve battalions. Forward. The charge. The charge was used to signal troops in line of battle to carry an enemy position at the point of the bayonet. A charge was done at the double quick or on the run. One of the oldest and most famous of all bugle calls got its name from the French word réveiller, which means to awaken. Deploy as skirmishers. This call was sounded to activate a detachment of soldiers as skirmishers. Double quick time. The pace of double quick cadence was 165 steps to the minute, but was often increased during battle in order to cover more distance as quickly as possible.
That sounds like double quick. If I heard that and I didn't know it, I'd be like, I need to hurry.
Officer's call. This call was used to assemble officers in camp or in the field.
I heard on the film that Sturgis and them, it took 6 days and nights to get here because it had rained for 6 days and nights. And when he finally got close and Forrest turned around to meet him, Forrest should have gone on and captured the railroad. But he was fighting man, and the people that fought under him loved to fight. They went AWOL from other units and regiments to come and fight with Forrest because he would fight. And so he turned around to take him on. But when he finally turned around to meet him, Sturgis called for his people in the back to come on up on the double quick. Which, after 6 days and nights of rain, that put them slogging through Hatchie Bottom, which had turned into black gumbo mud. And so they had on those wool uniforms. In Mississippi. In June heat and humidity. And then having to slog through black gumbo mud. They actually had to cut off their pants at the knees because the mud was clinging on them, on the pants so much that they couldn't get through it. They couldn't walk if they didn't cut their pants off at the knees. And then they had to go and come in on a jog. So they were exhausted when they got here. But I always think it's remarkable that it took them 6 days and 6 nights to get here from Memphis, but it didn't take them but a day and a half to get back. So y'all have been out there. So the church is still there. And then this was Brice's house, which was the reason it's called Brice's Crossroads. And of course, it's not there. That's where the monument and the two cannon are.
Okay.
Well, our interpretive center is named Mississippi Final Stands because these were the last two battles in Mississippi.
Yeah.
Brice's Crossroads in June, and then Tupelo-Harrisburg in July.
Yeah, yeah.
We also well know that it is won the battle that lost the war.
Yeah.
It's actually known that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I grew up in western Kentucky. We got the Battle of Sacramento, and they call it Forest's First. And that's just kind of a nice thing, a little driving tour, but do a reenactment once a year.
We do them here, but we do the larger ones on every 5th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And next year will be the 160th.
Oh, okay.
So there was a small demonstration this past June 10th, but next year ought to be larger.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you get a good showing for that.
We usually do. People are pretty interested in it.
Yeah, and I'll close this out real quick. I just wanted to put up a very, very short video of our visit to this place. I thought it was great. We talked to Cheryl, the curator, there for a bit, and I wanted to put a little bit of her audio up just because she is the curator, and it was nice hearing what she had to say about the battle and the place. So I just included a little of that. Have you been here, though? Have you been to Brice's Crossroads? Let me know what you think. I really enjoyed this visitor center.